Karibu tuendelee kukupasha yanayojiri, na hivi sasa tunaarifiwa kwamba Tume ya Kitaifa ya Kutetea Haki za Binadamu inazindua ripoti yake kuhusiana na uchaguzi mkuu wa Agosti 9. Hebu moja kwa moja sasa tusikilize yanayoendelea katika uzinduzi huo.
And national tallying centers. The law allows for aspirants through their agents to observe the counting and tallying process. It is paramount that this right does not infringe on the work of election officials. The Commission documented 33 cases of violence targeting poll centers and officials in various parts of the country. These cases include altercations between opposing political factions, misuse of firearms by civilians as documented in Bungoma, Busia, and Siaya, physical violence and the destruction of election materials as witnessed in Mombasa and Kakamega. These confrontations resulted in physical injury to civilians, security personnel, and IEBC officials in Kakamega, Mombasa, Nairobi, and Wajir. In Wajir, an election official had his leg amputated. Cases have also been reported of deaths and abduction of election officials. The Commission has consistently spoken out against and continues to decry the violence, intimidation, harassment, threats, and intimidation of election officials. Such conduct impacts the integrity of the process and must be stopped. We call on the relevant agencies to investigate the incidences and ensure those accountable are brought to book. Conduct, and in the picture there, this is from a polling station in Kakamega. People came in during the counting process, threw away the ballots. You can see the ballots on the floor on the last picture. And you can imagine when the votes are on the floor, how do we count them? How do we verify them? These are instances that we must really not permit, and it's a violation of the rights of those officials and of the election process. Conduct of IEBC officials. During the election monitoring period, the Commission documented 28 incidences of election malpractices by IEBC officials. These incidents range from issuing more than one ballot paper, collusion with politicians during the voting. Incidents were also reported of non-election officials being found in unlawful possession of election materials. Incidents were reported in Kajiado and Nairobi. A presiding officer, if you look at the screen, talks of a presiding officer arrested in Narok, North Constituency, for changing details of the final results in the form, and that was brought out. Polling clerks were produced in court. One of them was seen plucking 4 ballot papers for MCA post, and another marked them. This is very, very strange. I hope IEBC, you look at your officials and are able to account for this kind of conduct, even though they're also facing criminal trial. In West Pokot, again, there was an incident where one officer was arrested and detained for allegedly altering presidential results from one ward. So there are several instances captured in our report that you will be able to read when you look at it. Then there's the issue of affixing results at the polling station. The law requires that the presiding officer affix a copy of the declaration of the result duly signed at the public entrance to the polling station or at any place convenient and accessible to the public at the polling station. This provision is not only mandatory, but it also places a premium on the public's ability to access all the results announced by the presiding officer within their respective stations. The affixing of the results form at the polling station facilitates the verification and increases transparency. In a departure from what was out in 2017, 45 polling stations monitored in 2022 failed to affix the results at the polling stations. think we do not have the list, but we have a full list annexed to the report, and you'll be able to see exactly which polling stations failed to comply. On the right to property, during the election monitoring period, the Commission documented 22 incidences of unlawful destruction of property. These incidents were witnessed in Nairobi, Murang'a, Trans Nzoia, Siaya, and Isiolo. And if you look there, you can see that car has the window smashed, and I think the windscreen is also bashed. This was in Murang'a. And the next one, this is deliberate destruction of somebody's campaign material, Wakungu from Kiminini in Nzoia, in Trans Nzoia County. So we have many other incidences captured in our report. Then we have freedom of expression. Freedom of expression is indeed a cornerstone of human rights and a pillar of free and democratic societies, as it supports other fundamental rights such as the right to information and to participate in public affairs. During the 2022 election period, the Commission noted abuse of freedom of expression, mainly on online platforms, including social media platforms, mainstream media, blogs, and other channels, through pseudo accounts and persons hired to propagate hate speech and/or propaganda. The intention was to disinform and misinform the public to the disadvantage of the rival political camps. The deliberate misinformation caused anxiety and fueled